So because yesterday I said that I had some gimbal envy, I decided to get the gimbal out today and just walk walk around the studio with it. I've had that typical kind of day after, I'm just trying not to trip over cables, day after London effect where the body's slightly achy. But I'm going to settle in the armchair and we're going to have a chat. Now, first of all, I need to apologise, as it would appear that I made a video on, I want to say, Monday, and forgot to post it. It's the one that I saw this morning with 2 views. I thought, even by our standards, that's low. So it was the one I said about taking it easy after the weekend. So anyway, it's posted now. Apologies about that. I didn't miss a day. I did it, but I was just wearing a dunce's cap, and I forgot to actually post the damn thing. So there you go. Yes, so back with the gimbal. I think, really, the gimbal, I did travel better yesterday. I definitely travelled lighter yesterday, which helped for the course of the day, with the backpack being that little bit lighter. And I think what I'll do in future, possibly, because that little tabletop, you saw it in my camera bag thing, I think. It's just a little newer, sort of a 6-inch tabletop tripod. Worked really well, but obviously I can't do any walking stuff with it because there's no stabilisation on this Canon. Well, there's a little bit in body, but it's not that good. So I think what I'll do is take the gimbal in future rather than a tripod, because the gimbal is a reasonably high tripod, and then it also doubles up as being able to be a walking cam as well. And I can spin it around, of course, and do shots of wherever I'm walking in London and so on. So I think probably doing that makes sense. I've got a cable attached to it now, so everything it's actually linked to the camera, so I can record directly from the gimbal. So having learnt my gimbal skills, and I want to perfect on them, gimbal work is quite a challenge. I was watching another video on it last night. I think it was the OS5 that we were talking about. It is a skill, gimbal work, but I'm getting better with it. I want to carry on working that. So I have my notebook out. I have things to talk about. Yes, I talked about the forgot to post video, but that's done now, and I'll get this done. I know last night's was late, but it was a late night back. Normally I get in about an hour and a half earlier than that, but by the time I got back to Canary Wharf, got lost in Canary Wharf, found a few shots I wanted to take. By that time it was I got the 8:20 out of Waterloo, which meant I got back to my station at 9:10, and indoors by about 9:30, and then had to eat and put the video up. And also the MacBook Neo would not export that video. It was only Rec 709. It wasn't in log, but it was 10 minutes long. Didn't want to know. I sat on the train, I clipped the top and bottom of it, it was ready to go, wouldn't have it. So I think I found kind of limits of the MacBook Neo. I got indoors, and the MacBook Pro did it in about 3 minutes flat. I'm not comparing like for like. And the MacBook Neo I still love. It is a really hypnotic Mac. I managed to make a complete video while I was up in London yesterday, which I've just been putting into folders today. So part of the day after is I put all the pictures on my server, and I did take a few iPhone pictures yesterday as well with the Reflex ultra wide, 110 degree ultra wide while I was in Canary Wharf. I think I might have tried later on. I think in Lightroom you can piece them together to make kind of this blended effect. But equally, it was better when I last went and took those look-up shots with the Canon, because I've got a much, much wider lens on the iPhone, so it'll give a much better effect anyway. Weather wasn't particularly friendly. And as for the filters, they were good. And I've just seen that Brandon Lee's bought some out with Freewell, actually. I saw that video last night. But I am happy with them. But yes, they wasn't really the bright enough day to challenge them. I did need filters. I mean, at the moment I've got the CPL, the circular polarizing lens on, and I've got the UV one. I'm shooting with that most of the time now because I think it just does actually work. Particularly that polarized one, it just seems to make the colours that little bit better. And I'm shooting this back in log today, sitting in the studio. So anyway, the filters were good, and they will certainly get a lot of use during the course of summer. And the event yesterday, as I said, was really well laid on. I know it would have been going on late into the evening. They had a DJ doing a full set there. It was a really nice place. I might even try and put a few bits of B-roll on this video so you can just see what the vibe was like at the Honour event. It was a really nice kind of venue they had, and it was well looked after. And interestingly, I got talking to a few other creators there, and everybody seemingly was finding it quiet in the first 3 months of the year. I wasn't alone in that. When you get them candidly away from trying to sort of show off to other people and so on, you get the true story. And apparently everyone was a little bit quiet, with China being virtually shut down for all of April, I think it was, for, I don't know, various holidays and stuff. But things are picking up again now. The video, as I thought, has done exceptionally badly. Now, you've possibly had a chance to see it. Honest reaction, I think I did. And I mean, I love, as you know, I don't like doing video reviews studio reviews where I can help it. I much prefer to be out in London, and it also gives me a chance to use the device and get used to the device, whichever one I'm using. And I think that certainly pays off. And you meet some great people, and like I met that actor, and he was just waiting for an audition call. So I said, "Well, go and do some acting for me." You just makes things interesting, and you see that this great capital city that's around me. So I love it, and I think it added to the story. I hope it's not a vanity project, and I focused heavily on the device. It wasn't as if I made it into a travel log, but I knew it'd do badly. It always, unless you're sort of the MKBHD of this world that can pick up any device and review it. The minute I step out of lane, nobody wants to know, which is why I've gone back to a MacBook Neo video for next week, because at the moment the Neo's got the magic touch, whether it's written word or video. If I make something about the Neo, everyone wants to talk about it. And the fact I've just read that they're probably stripping away the base model Neo because of the shortage of storage, which is getting really worrying actually. I mean, now I'm looking after my SD cards like they're pieces of gold. And on this one, for instance, I've taken all the footage, backed up in 2 or 3 places. I know I've got the footage saved if anything would happen to this SD card. But yeah, so with the Neo having its base model reduced now, and they might be adding some colours to it or something, I think the Neo's going to continue to be of interest, which is why I pieced together. And be honest with you, was it saying anything radically new? No. Did I do it with some new energy? Yes, I think I did, and filmed it with some new parts of London. So it's an okay video, and certainly while things as they are at the moment, which are kind of an in-betweeny. Obviously, we're waiting for WWDC, and I've got that earmarked to get in touch with the girls at Apple to see if I can get an invite to that. As for the PR company I was dealing with yesterday for Honor, I think I'm quite well in with them. They apparently are releasing their next foldable in August, and it looks like I might be on the list for that. So if Honor seem to have just turned a corner with me and are treating me well, and they're nice to deal with, they don't ask for approval of video, so it's totally my opinions. And I'm not even too beaten up that the video's doing badly, because the thing is I can look in the mirror and know that I put my heart and soul into it. I didn't sell short on it. I know how hard I worked on it. So if you can do that, then I think that's kind of all you can ask of a week's work. And that was a full week's work. It really was. Today's an odd day. I feel not flat, but kind of... well, I'll explain why I'll explain why now. And this, again, it's only because I sit in front of a camera and have got the means to talk to you. This is not different from anybody else's stresses or pressures in life at all. But it does circle back to kind of what I do for a living, and the fact that it really circles in that I need to make money. So I've been on a 5-year fixed mortgage. And that expires at the end of this month. My mortgage advisor phoned me this morning, and it's going to go up about £400. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, it doesn't quite sunk in. Yeah. So that means I've got to earn good money here, is the short bit. I mean, yeah, it's knocked the wind out of me today. Just when I thought things were beginning to have an uptick, and they are. I mean, okay, today's been a quieter day, but generally there's an uptick in interest. And the glasses are on the way to me, so that I know is a payer. But equally, I know I've got VAT to pay at the end of next month, and then I've got corp tax to pay in August. As I say, it's no different. We're all in the same boat, but now I'm sort of sitting here thinking, where do I find an extra £400 a month from? It's very soporific, isn't it? And then I spend days in London like yesterday, which, I'm not going to lie, it's my happy place. I do work hard, sure, I do work hard. I never stop. But I'm lucky to be able to escape to do that. But equally, days like yesterday and my days of photography don't pay the bills. And I haven't actually done a reel for a couple of days now, purely because I wasn't in the mood. And there's no saying I have to do reels, and it's not as if they're, again, making any revenue. It's not as if they're watched by thousands. They're watched by, if I'm lucky, a few hundred. So it's kind of like, well, let's not cut out the things I don't need to do today. This was always an option, because cutting this out rather was never an option, because I just wanted to sit down, catch up on the back of yesterday, and just chat. Really, you're the only people that I've spoken to so far today. It's been a full. I don't need to leave the studio today. I can just plod along. I might start to put together the video that I recorded. I've already put it into folders, so when I'm out recording days like yesterday, there's a lot of B-roll, thumbnail shots, and then also obviously the actual A-roll shot. So I've put them into all the right folders now. So I've got a folder started, ready to go into Final Cut, and I might make a start on that. I've just published a story, so that's done. Mac O'Clock put it up very quickly today. So, but they're changing the rules about, or not the rules, the way that stories get boosted. I don't fully understand this. I think what happens is a publication, in my case Mac O'Clock, decide if a story warrants being boosted or submitted for a boost, submitted to Medium for a boost, should I say. So I think the way it goes is that Mac O'Clock is, if you like, its own business, it's its own enterprise. They look at a story, they submit it. Now, if I get a boost, Medium have just changed the rules that they get 25% of what I earn. So it doesn't take down what I earn, it's over and above. So let's say I earn £100 on a story, they now, whoever the publication would get 25% of that as well, or the person that's put it up for a boost. So if anything, that incentivises, I would hope, people to put my stories up for boost, because they're going to earn out of it as well. And I think that's quite a big upstep of how much they were earning. I think it was very small before. So if they're getting 25% now, potentially of a story that could pop and go really big for me, that makes it worth their while. So I don't know if it's that, I'm not sure if Mac O'Clock aren't submitting stories at the moment, or haven't been, and whether now with these new regs they might do, which would play obviously to my favour. I don't know, but I will always write. It makes sense to while I've got a story in my head, and 9 times out of 10, as you know, I'll repurpose that into a video anyway. So, yeah, well, let's hope that does make a change, because I could really do with just a break of luck on writing. And the views on the channel is very sort of, you know, the videos I've done recently, of course, the phone got picked up today, by the way, so that's the way it works with review units. They send it to me, they tell you you're going to have it for 2 weeks, then, as I thought, they arrange a courier to come and collect it, because otherwise if they left it, I mean, okay, I am straight and honest, but if they left it to some people, they might never get the phone back, so it's in their control. They arrange the collection address, which is the same as the delivery address, of course. They send the courier down, so that phone has now gone, and then it's just waiting for the next unit to come through. I think that was kind of all the things I was going to chat about today. It's been a bit of a downer because of that news about the mortgage. Nothing's been confirmed yet. He's looking at options, but I'm sure it's not going to be. It's going to be about that. So I really need to get lucky and keep working hard and just get some revenue coming in. You know, I've never thought this should be a passion project. It needs to be a job, and I treat it, as you know, very much like a job. When you know, the fact that I do a video every single week, normally now a short every week, and that's not just a clipped out short, as you know, that is a proper bespoke made short to go with it, a short to go on the channel, something hopefully fresh and new. Yes, maybe linked to a video, but completely made on its own merits. I'm doing that. I'm doing the vlogs, writing. I do community posts. I even did a post yesterday about 50 minutes before the video went up while I was at the Honour event. I try to think of everything. And don't get me wrong, things are better than they were at the beginning of the year. But you just get days like today and you realise, geez, I can't take my foot off the gas. And that's why I'm working 7-day weeks, because I'm scared. So, you know, when you're scared, you backed into a corner and you do what you can. I still maintain that because of being scared, I've got better at doing what I do. And that can only be for the good of the channel. It's still a shame that we're not at 50,000. I don't know where that growth's going to come. Dr. Phone have approved it. They're delighted with it. They've got the invoice. They said it's going to take 3 to 5 days for the money to land. So I'm not going to release the video yet, because I've just had a video released yesterday. It's no point. So when you look at the videos I've done recently, I've done the reflex video. Well, I did the camera bag video, which I knew wouldn't do well. The reflex video, which has done better than I thought, but not particularly well. I've done the Honour video, which I knew wouldn't do well. The next video will be Wondershare. At least Wondershare is paying, and at least Reflex were paying. And then I've got to work out how to use these glasses as well. So she's asked my time frame on that. I said, well, no reason I shouldn't get it up before the end of May. I just need a couple of days to play around and get my head around what they are. Having looked at the video on their website, it looks very much like it's a version of Vision Pro, where you get all your workspace up on the wall in front of you. I suppose if I was on a plane or something, it could be useful. They did show it working with a Mac. But until I got my hands on it, I've got no idea if I'm going to be impressed or not. But and all they haven't asked for script approval, they just asked for video approval. So anyway, it looks like I've been talking for a quarter of an hour again. That time marches on. That's what happens when you don't speak to anybody else. You have to put on my verbal diarrhea. Anyway, I hope you're going well. I hope you kind of enjoyed the Honor video if you watched it. I'll definitely try and drop a few bits of B-roll onto here, just so you can see. I might not particularly time it, but if there's bits of B-roll up here, you'll know why. It's just insights of the Honor video yesterday. Anyway, I shall catch up with you Friday. Jeez, it's already Thursday, isn't it? Catch up with you Friday. See you then, bye.